How is it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review. Today we're going to be reviewing this 2021 Aston Martin DBX. Now before I continue on with the review, I want to mention that this Aston Martin actually is currently available right now at Aston Martin in Summit, New Jersey. If you are interested in this specific DBX or any other Aston Martins, really, definitely go check out their website. And they also have a ton of used luxury cars as well. But yeah, definitely a huge shout out to them for letting me review this brand new DBX. As we're walking around this DBX, you can tell that it really resembles the DB11 a lot. I feel like it almost resembles it a little bit too much, especially when talking about the rear of this DBX. I actually like the front more. I do like the fact how they integrated the same kind of grille and style overall in the front. I think it looks aggressive but yet still classy, how an Aston Martin should look. But again, just moving on to the rear, I don't really like how the single kind of taillight looks. I do like the smoke taillights. I think they looks a lot better than your traditional red lens taillights. But for some reason, I mean, the back just looks a little bit weird in my opinion. But even though I was ripping on the rear of this car a little bit, I do actually like this actual spec of the DBX, this specific DBX, because I do like the lunar white, kind of metallic white factory paint color that it comes with, and I do like the kind of matte black finish on the wheels as well as the brake calipers, and that is going to match the interior. We will talk about the interior more in depth in a little bit, but you can see that inside and the interior is all obsidian black leather as well as the red stitching to match the brake calipers. And one thing that I really like about Aston Martin as a brand in general is that they have tons of different customization options for their vehicles. For example, the lunar white on the exterior is one out of over 60 different exterior paint options for this year, and the obsidian black leather on the inside is actually one out of 23 different interior options. So if you ever get an Aston Martin, or you ever get the chance to own an Aston Martin, it is definitely going to be your own. And now, speaking about the wheels on this DBX, these are actually the factory wheels that this comes with. Again, 22-inch alloy wheels that are finished in that kind of matte black finish that I spoke of before. And in the front, they are actually wrapped in 285s by 40s by 22s. And then in the rears, you do have a little bit more grip. There are 325s by 35s by 22s in the rear. And again, this car is all-wheel drive, and it does have independent suspension all the way around. So even though it is an SUV, it still does handle pretty damn well on the road. And now moving on to the engine and drivetrain of this DBX, one actually interesting feature is that obviously Aston Martin is a British brand, and for their American cars, they didn't want to move the hood latch over to the left side, because again, in Britain, all the vehicles over there are right-hand drive. But now opening up this hood, you can see that the basically entire thing opens just like the DB11s, and underneath the hood it pretty much is exactly like a DB11. Now obviously it's not like the V12 DB11s, but it is exactly like the V8 DB11 that I actually reviewed on my channel before. If you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link to it on top of the video right now. But underneath this hood, you can see the first ever AMG engine used in an Aston Martin vehicle. And this is the 4-liter double overhead cam, 4 valve per cylinder, twin turbo V8. And this engine is used in the DBXs, the DB11 V8s, as well as the new generation of the Aston Martin Vantages. And this engine does make 542 brake horsepower at 6,500 RPMs and 516 foot-pounds of torque at 2,200 RPMs. And pretty much the main differences that separate this DBX from the V8 DB11s is that this engine actually delivers its power through a 9-speed shiftable automatic transmission compared to the 8-speed shiftable automatic found in the DB11 V8s, as well as, of course, the DBXs are all-wheel drive. Now, this engine actually does propel this SUV from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds, and it does push it all the way up with a top speed of 181 miles per hour. This engine also does come equipped with active cylinder deactivation, so that definitely does help with the miles per gallon numbers. And speaking about the gas mileage for this DBX, this SUV is expected to get right around 14 miles per gallon during city driving and 18 miles per gallon during highway driving, for a combined average of just 15 miles per gallon, which is definitely does not make it the most fuel efficient SUV. But I'm pretty sure if you're going out and buying a brand new DBX and dropping almost $200,000 on a new family SUV, I don't think you worry about gas mileage that much. So now moving on to the interior of this 2021 Aston Martin DBX. Again, you do have the obsidian black leather all the way around that matches the factory wheels perfectly, and the red stitching all the way around, which matches the brake calipers, which honestly, I feel like the combination of the white and the black and the red on the exterior with the black wheels and the red brake calipers is a fantastic spec. Now starting this engine up, you can hear the nice tone that this 4-liter twin-turbo V8 produces. And in the center here, I did just want to go over this digital dash because there's a bunch of different customization that you can actually do with it. And basically all of it is controlled right here. So if I kind of flip over to this tachometer, I can scroll up and down on the tachometer. I can show my location. I can show different fuel consumption statistics, and then I can just get the regular DBX logo, which is really, really awesome. Same thing for the middle here. It's pretty much just on a odometer, but you can, again, there's like 4 different settings for it, so you can go and mess with that and customize it to however you like it, as well as the center infotainment system right here. Right now I just have it set on kind of location, and also right here you have a bunch of different options, including lane keep assist, auto start, I believe that's a parking sensor on and off, and then you can switch over to the camera in case you're squeezing in and out of any tight spaces. You have a 360 camera right there, as well as a bunch of front sensors right there. And then right here you actually have different incline modes for off-roading. I can actually raise and lower my suspension into 4 different heights, which is really, really awesome. And then right here, the mode up and down actually is going to change your driving mode. So right now I was in Grand Touring. You can go to Terrain, Terrain Plus, and then if we want to go back down from Grand Touring, you can also go to Individual and then Sport, and then eventually Sport Plus mode. And with Sport Plus mode, it opens up the exhaust and it goes all red, just like in the DB11s. And I'm definitely going to be driving it in Sport Plus mode today. So now without further ado, guys, I'm gonna take this 2021 DBX out for a drive and show you guys my initial reactions. Yeah, this thing is fantastic with a 4.5 second 0 to 60. It definitely accelerates very, very quick, especially for a almost 5,000 pound SUV. I believe the curb weight is like right over 4,900 pounds. So you definitely need all the power that this engine does produce, and it definitely does produce a lot of power. Now, one thing that I can also see is a little bit different from the DB11 V8 that I reviewed compared to this DBX, is that when it's in Sport Plus mode, which is right now, or when the DB11 V8 was in Sport Plus mode and I downshifted, you would always get like crazy exhaust pops. I mean, it sounded like really, really nuts. Like the exhaust would pop all the time. But for some reason in this DBX, you do get some of the pops and burbles, but it's just not as much. Now, I don't know if that's because they tuned this DBX differently from the DB11s, or if because there's more mufflers or something in the DBX. But yeah, that is definitely just one little detail that I noticed from actually driving the 2 different vehicles. And when this is in Sport Plus mode, with the suspension also in Sport Plus mode, it definitely feels very, very nice going around corners and handling. Obviously it still is, again, a 5,000 pound SUV, so you still get some of that body roll compared to a car, but it's definitely not a lot. Oh, there goes some of the pops, some of the exhaust pops on that downshift. I absolutely love the fact that something like this Aston Martin DBX or the DB11s, they just pop so much. I mean, because normally when you think of Aston Martin, you don't, I'm not saying that Aston Martins are tame in any way, but normally when you think of Aston Martins just as a brand in general, you think of a nice, classy, luxurious vehicle. And the fact that when you switch it over to Sport Plus mode and you get all those different sounds from the exhaust, it's just, it feels almost like out of character for an Aston Martin, but it feels so damn good. Now I'm actually stuck behind someone right now, so switching it back over to Grand Touring mode, which is going to restrain the exhaust even more and loosen up the suspension. It feels like any other new, you know, SUV. It feels very, very comfortable to drive. Now, that being said, with it being an Aston Martin, you do have the Aston Martin luxury and the quality of this interior. Obviously, you guys saw all the leather in the interior. I just really love, you could tell like it's like real, legit leather. The stitching is all hand sewn. And the quality of this vehicle definitely separates it from a, you know, typical SUV for obvious reasons. Now, one thing that I do find quite odd in this interior is the big kind of like gaping hole between the driver's seat and passenger seat underneath like the center part here. Though I'll probably edit in a little clip of it, but I just find it a little odd. I feel like there's no use for that to be there. Maybe you can store something down there like sunglasses, or if it's, you know, if you're a woman or something, maybe like a little hand purse or something like that. But I just don't, I get how it's, I guess some people might think it's stylish, but I think it's a little bit stupid, and I don't really see the point to it, to be completely honest. Now, there are also many things about this interior that I absolutely love. I do love the park, reverse, neutral, and drive buttons that they took out the DB11s, as well as, of course, the engine start and stop button. I also do like the center infotainment system, the touchscreen in the center there. And I do like the fact that the front two seats, the driver and the passenger seat, are actually more of sport seats. Obviously, you have a lot of different like automatic, you know, adjusting controls that you can do to adjust the lumbar and everything and the pitch of the seat. But I like the fact that these are more kind of sport inspired seats than the second row is. And speaking about the second row, you do have plenty of room in the second row if you do have a family. And also the trunk does offer a decent amount of storage space as well. Now that is pretty much just going to wrap up today's video on this 2021 Aston Martin DBX. If you know that I missed anything in this video, definitely let everyone know down in the comments section below. And also, if you haven't subscribed already, definitely be sure to consider subscribing to my channel and consider leaving a like on this video. It helps me out a lot as a smaller YouTuber. But like always, thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.